Welcome students. Today we are going to deal with a new chapter, that is biodiversity and its conservation. We may get a short question for definition of biodiversity. The biodiversity, the term is composed of two parts. One is bio and diversity. Bio means living things. Diversity means the variety and the variability. So the staggering difference in the variety and variability of living organisms in terms of the different types of genes they possess, or in case of populations, the different types of gene pools they will be having, or the species will be different in case of a particular ecosystem at a given region at a given time is called as the biodiversity. So one more definition we can go for is at United Nations Conference on Environment and Development held in Rio de Janeiro in the year of 1992. One more definition was been given to biodiversity, and it was the variability among the living organisms from all sources, including the inter alia, terrestrial, marine and other aquatic ecosystems, and the ecological complexes which they are a part. This includes the diversity within the species or of ecosystem. So that means both of it, biodiversity means the definition, you can go for any one of this, and it represents any change in the among these living organisms at different levels, like starting from this your macromolecules to the biome levels is called as the biodiversity. So the term biodiversity was coined by Rosen in the year of 1985. So now we are going to deal with the different types of biodiversity. So according to sociobiologist Edward Wilson in the year of 1992, biodiversity exists at all levels of biological organization. We have already learnt about this biological organization, that is starting from cell. Cell will combine to give rise to tissue. Tissue will give rise to organ systems. Organs are going to give rise to organ systems. Then we are going to get the organism. We are going to get species, population, and then the ecosystems. And the ecosystems combine to give rise to the biomes. So at all these levels, the biological these levels are called as your biological organization. At each level, we may get this biodiversity, or we are going to get differences. So the difference may start from the macromolecules within the cell up to the biomes. So the variations are been found starting from the macromolecules up to the biomes, which have been present in case of a biological organization. So biodiversity can be described by three interrelated components, or we are going to have three hierarchical levels of biological organization. First one is genetic level. So whatever characters our organism is going to possess, it all depends on the specific genetic makeover, or you can say genetic makeup. So the characteristics of an organism are going to depend on a specific type of genes that the organism is going to possess. So this genetic makeup represents the number of genes it possesses and the nature of genes it possesses. So no two individuals have exactly the same genetic makeup. So this difference among the genes of two different organisms is called as the genetic diversity. Diversity means differences or variations at the genetic level is called as the genetic diversity. Because no two individuals are going to have the same type of genes, we can say that no two individuals are going to have altogether same type of genes within them. So these differences are called as the genetic diversity. The genetic difference may be in the number of the genes, maybe the nature of alleles of the same gene, or maybe in the type of the gene, or in the chromosomal structure. So genetic difference may be found at 4 levels. Next comes genetic diversity helps a species to adapt to the environment. So here we can say if the genetic diversity will be high, or more variation will be there at the genetic level in the organisms, they will be better adapted to the environment and they will be favored by the natural selection. If they are going to have less diversity, then they are going to lead to the uniformity. That means they will have more or less same type of genes, so they are going to be of uniform type. Next comes genetic diversity within a species often increases with the environmental variability. And the factors which are going to contribute toward the genetic variations are mutation, crossing over, random sexual mating, and this particular factors are going to give rise to the new combination of the genes, and this results in the genetic variation. Few examples we are going to go here for this genetic diversity. In India, basically, we do have 50 types of different varieties of rice. 50,000 number of different varieties of rice have been present because they do have different structure of this genes. And 1000 variety of mangoes have been present. Similarly, we are going to take one more example. We do have a medicinal plant which is called as Rauwolfia serpentina. This is found in the Himalayan regions, and this is important for its having a chemical risperidine. So we are going to get differences in the potency and concentration of this chemical in different plants, just because they do have genetic diversity. Because of different types of genes, they do have variation in the amount of risperidine they are going to produce. Second type of diversity is species diversity. So before going to this, let us know what is species. A group of similar individuals which are able to interbreed and produce fertile hybrids are called as the species. So similar type of organisms which can interbreed and they can produce the fertile hybrids or fertile organisms are called as the species. So the variation among the members of two different species in a region is called as the species diversity. Whatever differences will be there, whatever variations will be there among the members of two different species in a particular area, that is called as species diversity. So the total number of species in an ecosystem can be considered as the species diversity. So the species diversity basically depends on two things. One is species evenness and one more is species richness. So the relative abundance of species in an area is called as species evenness. So we are going to take a unit area and then we are going to find out the types of species which have been available there. If a single species is going to be found in highest number or mode number, or we are going to get abundance of that particular number as compared to the other species, then that is called as species evenness. The number and the variety of individuals and the number of species per unit area is called as the species richness. See, species evenness means in a particular area, if you are going to find the more number of single type of species, that is called as species dominance, or we are going to call it as the species evenness. If you are going to get the different number of species have been found in different in a unit area, that is called as the species richness. So these two factors are going to regulate the species diversity. Basically, if greater species richness will be there, then the greater species diversity will be achieved. So if richness will be more, that is the different types of organisms or different types of species are more, then that area is called as going to have species diversity. So we can have three conditions of this ecosystems. One ecosystem with the individuals from unrelated species is more diverse. So see, we are going to take some examples. See, we have taken one ecosystem. Here we have different type of organisms which are not related with each other. So because here unrelated type of organisms have been, species have been present in this ecosystem, we can say this is a more diverse type of ecosystem. Then we are going to go for the less diverse type of ecosystem. So see, here we do have more of this birds, and we have this birds repeated also because they belong to the same species, and less varieties have been there. So we are going to call it as a less diverse one. But if you are going to go for the third type, here we do have the see these birds are more or less similar with each other. So we do have dominance of the species, that is more number of the same type of species have been present in a ecosystem. So this is called as least diverse ecosystem. So depending on the unrelated species, if we are going to take an ecosystem which is going to have unrelated species in more number, that is called as more diverse one. If you are going to get related species, that is all web in birds, then it is called as less diverse. And if you are going to get only one type of organism which has been maximum in number, then that ecosystem is called as the least diverse type of ecosystem. Now we are going to go for the third type of ecological diversity. It refers to the diversity at the level of ecosystem or habitat or community, and this is due to the presence of more variety of ecosystems and habitats. So because more types of habitats and ecosystems have been available rainforest, desert, wetlands, mangroves, coral reefs and alpine meadows. So we do have different types of ecological diversities are been available. So this ecological diversities can be studied by taking three perspectives. One is alpha diversity. Alpha diversity is within the community diversity. That means the species diversity within the community can be described as local diversity. So alpha diversity we have to memorize. In case of alpha diversity, the diversity is been found within the community. So this is the key term to remember for this alpha diversity. So we are going to call it as the local diversity also. This here what happens, it is found in the organisms sharing the same community and occupying the same area of more or less uniform habitat. So in the same uniform habitat and within the same community, whatever organisms are been present, whatever variations will be there among them, that is called as alpha diversity. So it determines the stability of this community. Next comes the beta diversity. So here we are going to take the changes or diversity between the communities. So we are going to take two different communities which are occurring in a geographical area. So you can say it develops among the environmental gradient. So the geographical areas are going to be in the same environmental gradient. Either they are going to be present in the same altitude or same latitude, or they are going to have the same moisture gradient. This results in different habitats. So if more beta diversity will be there in a geographical area, then it indicates the presence of unique habitats and consequently unique communities in that area. That means we are going to take beta diversity. In case of beta diversity, what happens? Two different communities are been taken which are been present in two different areas, but they do have either same altitude or same latitude or same moisture gradient. So more or less they are going to have more or less same type of environment. So in those areas, whatever organisms are been there, we are going to compare them and we are going to find out this variations among them to find out this beta diversity. Next comes gamma diversity. It is called as the regional diversity. It represents the total richness of a species in all similar habitats found within the different geographical regions, areas or the landscapes. So here we are going to take two unrelated areas which have been found in two different geographical areas, and then two different this organisms have been taken, and we are going to compare the richness of the species in those two areas, and that is called as the gamma diversity. That means here two unrelated geographical regions have been taken, and in those geographical regions whatever organisms are existing, we are going to compare them to find out the differences. So example is differences in the species composition between the coral reef of Andaman Island and the Gulf of Kutch represents the gamma diversity. So we have taken two different areas, island of here this Andaman Island and this Gulf of Kutch. These two areas are going to have the gamma diversity. Here we do have the last type of diversity, that is called as the ecosystem diversity. In some books this ecosystem diversity and this ecological diversities have been represented combinedly. It is the variety of various ecosystems due to diversity of niche and this trophic levels and ecological processes like nutrient cycling and food web and this energy flow. So the variety we do have different types of ecosystems due to diversity in the niche, trophic levels. So they do have different trophic levels and they do have different ecological processes like nutrient cycling, food webs and the energy flow. Hence a variable number of or variable types of ecosystems are also been found. So this is called as ecosystem diversity. Thank you.